Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Holowitz from 365acttips.com and tonytheteacher.com. Well, one of the things I've experienced when helping people with ACT, some of my clients, is that one of the most important things you can do is to make sure you have good goals in mind. Really try to lay down on a piece of paper what it is you're trying to accomplish. And in these tutorials about working with groups, I think that really becomes very important to have some very clear-cut goals. And in my previous example, I had suggested, imagine you're in the ice cream business, whether you're an ice cream salesperson, you're a distributor, or it's just your business. You're in the ice cream business. So what's really important to me is that I know what my clients like. I need to understand what they like so I can reach out to them. Now in the previous tutorial we had talked about putting people in groups based on the type of ice cream they like. But I believe that's a lot of work and it's not very visual. So when it comes to ACT, I always tell people visualize your goals to really make groups work better. And let me illustrate that. Again, we can put people in groups sort of one by one based on what kind of ice cream they like. But even better than that, use some of the tools that ACT has built in to make it easier to visualize and see every time you look at a contact. And I always talk to people about getting intimate with their contacts, and this is a good example of that. So let me show you what I would do if I were an ice cream salesperson. I would first modify the layout to make it much more visual as to what kind of ice cream people like. So let me show you that. I've created a layout that I've called Ice Cream 1, and I'm going to click on that, and the Ice Cream 1 layout is going to come up. Now, instead of putting people in groups, which again is a lot of work, I suggest that you do things in a visual manner. So for example, looking at me, what kind of ice cream do I like? And again, this is information I want to know about people. Well, I'm going to click chocolate, coffee, strawberry, and vanilla. Maple walnut, pistachio, not so much. But now I go to my next person, and here it is. It's very visual. It's right in front of my face. Let's say he likes maple walnut, and so on and so forth. Well, we can go through all of these things and mark off what we like for our clients or our prospects, whoever it might be. So I always tell people, before you worry about groups, visualize some of the information that's important to you. If you wanted to create groups for all of this stuff, you could do that, but this is much easier. For example, if I want to look up all the people that like chocolate ice cream, I can right click, go look up chocolate. I could have also gone up on the toolbar and gone look up and eventually worked my way to chocolate, but I want to find all the people that like chocolate. And these check marks or check boxes up here have one or two options. If it's checked, it's true. If it's not checked, it's false. So if you want to find all the people that like chocolate in your database, you just choose true, you click OK, and now I've found all the people that like chocolate. If we wanted to add to this, maybe all the people that like pistachio, we could add it to the lookup. But that's where groups start to become a real viable option. Because now, because we've got good information in ACT, we can pull good information out of it. And sometimes what groups are really good for is simplifying the lookup process. In other words, if you always want to know all the people that like chocolate, pistachio, and vanilla, those three, and specifically those three, that would be a good reason to create a group. And when we do that group, we're going to do it with something called group membership rules. And then you are really effectively modifying the layout to give you good information about the contact. I'm going to go back to the contact, and again, these are the areas we can choose. And again, think about how this applies to your business. But if things are much more visual, I think they're better to use, and then it really impacts the way you create and use groups in the future. And I'll get into that in a little more detail in our next tutorial. But this ACT tip, this group therapy ACT tip, is get visual before you start worrying about groups. Make it so that everything you need to know about your client or your prospect is right there in front of you. And this is a good example. My name is Tony Holowitz, and I look forward to being there for the next tip, and I hope you will too. Thank you very much.